Well, the votes haven't been cast or counted yet, but a Senate majority is looking more likely for Republicans. As you heard yesterday on Happening Now, what would winning control of the Senate mean for the Republican Party and its ability to get things done? Let's talk about it with Juan Williams, our Fox News political analyst. It would seem, just looking at it, on the surface, that even if Republicans hold the House and win the Senate, they've still got the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for 2 more years, a guy who comes from the opposite party and has a veto pen. It would seem like a recipe for gridlock. What do you think, Juan?
Well, I don't have to think on this one, John. I mean, the statistics indicate that, in fact, when you have one party in control of Capitol Hill, the House and the Senate, and another party in control of the White House, it's the most productive historically here in Washington in terms of legislation getting through. So there's the possibility here of real production. Senator Portman of Ohio said recently here he thinks that Republican control of Capitol Hill will lead to more legislation coming off the Hill and getting to President Obama's desk, and he's hoping more deals with President Obama.
But President Obama has derided Republicans consistently, especially over the last couple of years, said, that they are essentially the problem with Washington.
Well, he said that they are guilty of obstructing his agenda. Well, now, it'll be in a situation, John, where it's the opportunity for the Republicans to form an agenda on Capitol Hill, and that could be an implosion on the Republican side, because remember, you have a Tea Party caucus in the House. It may get bigger, in fact, in this election, and they're going to make demands on some of those moderate Republican senators to prove that they're truly conservative. But in any case, the Republicans are going to have to form an agenda, priorities on issues ranging from immigration to tax reform to energy production in this country. And then once they get that agenda, send it to the president. And I think it will mean that the president will no longer be able to say that the Republicans are just blocking and obstructing. He'll either have to sign on, make a deal before he signs on, and then sign on, or just simply say that he won't play ball. It'll really put more pressure on him.
Was it 94 when Bill Clinton lost the House of Representatives to Republican control and turned around and did some things, welfare reform and other things that Republicans had clearly been advocating, and the two sides got together and really got some work done? That's the kind of thing that you're saying could happen again?
I think so. As I said, historically, that's the model that's in place. And what we have here is a situation where Republicans are under pressure. This morning in the Wall Street Journal, John, there was a poll that said, the Republican brand is held in disrepute by about half of all American voters. And largely the reason for that is absence of an agenda, simply blocking President Obama. Well, now here comes an opportunity, if Republicans do in fact gain control of both houses, to set their own agenda. And what you're hearing not only from the voters, but from people on Capitol Hill behind me, the Senate, is that Republicans think that they will create something of an agenda and force the president to respond. That could be a tremendous advantage going towards 2016.
But Juan, as you well know, some of that, the Republican senators complain that Harry Reid has bottled up their amendments, will not allow them to offer amendments to legislation in the Senate. Effectively, they have no voice right now. That's the kind of thing that you think could change.
Well, definitely. You'd have Mitch McConnell as the majority leader, so you would have Republicans in position to set the priorities, to set the scheduling, to, set the votes, John. Mm-hmm. The problem here becomes one of what's going on inside the Republican Party. What's the party's identity? I just recently wrote a piece for The Hill about Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina saying he's going to run for president, but he said his concern wasn't personal. It was more about the future of the party's identity. And he didn't want the party to simply kowtow and try to prove how right-wing it was, but prove that it could get something done on issues like immigration reform.
That's what the American people want, is to get things done from both parties. Juan Williams, thanks.